All right, we should be good. Yeah, we're good now. We're good now. All right, so now we're dealing with the full World War I debate between Anna Kasparian and Pearl Davis. I didn't know it went on for 2 hours. This will probably be a multi-parter, but I guess, hell, let's get into this. And it starts off with Andrew Wilson, who can, again, I am not the biggest fan of Andrew Wilson. I think his viewpoint is whack, and I think it can be easily dismantled. Because, again, Andrew Wilson is somebody that believes that the United States should be a theocracy, and we've already had Christian theocracies with very bad results. Oh, we have theocracies right now. You could join a theocracy right now if you want to. Just go to Iran, and they suck.
With your laryngitis voice, you're crushing it.
Isn't this terrible?
You're doing great. It's so
even
seductive.
Laryngitis cannot shut down free speech. Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, I don't care about the intros.
I'm hyped. I'm super excited. Come on.
Alright, Pearl's coming down the fucking aisle. Alright.
When it comes to certain sectors of our economy, women are a dominant and indispensable force.
I will say this for Pearl. She did not choose very flattering clothing. I'm gonna skip ahead opening statements.
She didn't. And she could have been the traditional chaste woman living out her dream of everything women were supposed to do before feminism. But she is neither traditional nor chaste by her own admission. While feminists would have no problem with her personal choices, she has made a career bashing women for theirs. Critics often argue that modern feminism has weakened families and resulted in a lower birth rate. They tend to dismiss empirical evidence demonstrating the insidious impact of the internet, social media on modern relationships. They also brush economic instability under the rug, despite young people citing their personal finances as the main reason why they're holding off on marriage in the first place. In lieu of discussing those factors, Pearl spends much of her time discouraging men from getting married in the first place. During her debate with
yeah, what's the benefit, my dear?
Trent Horn, she declared that men are better off shacking up without ever getting married. Her reasoning? Women are too fat and STD infected.
25%, that's a lot.
You did say that. She didn't stop to think about how they contracted the STDs in the first place.
Boring.
Data from the National Library of Medicine show that modern men are just as promiscuous as modern women.
No, actually, it's one man infecting like 10 women.
Men and women are in bad
So no, they're not as promiscuous.
shape, and in the United States, we can discuss why, but feminism is not the reason.
Very good. Thank you. Nice job. Okay, Pearl, we got 5 minutes. You're going to be on the clock, and let's go.
Most debaters and commentators are elitists who tell average Americans from their ivory towers what to think and how to feel. My answer to this question not only comes from covering current events and researching the facts, data, and statistics, but also in my professional experience interviewing over 1,000 people in America and Western nations. Feminism has given women power, and power corrupts. And that's what's happening. Feminism is robbing men of their disposable income and their prime earning years. Feminism has empowered women. It has empowered women to be sexually promiscuous. Feminists say that they fought for women to not subject themselves to the approval of men. Why then are 5 to 10% of women between the ages of 18 to 25 on OnlyFans or other prostitution websites? There are more online prostitutes in America than female Walmart employees. 1 of 3 women will catch an STD at some point in their lifetime. 90% will catch HPV, which is incurable. Feminism has empowered women to abort 1/8 of the world population and 1/3 of Gen Z. Feminists have been so empowered to commit paternity fraud. Paternity fraud is unpunished in any state in the USA or any country in the West. If done correctly, a man will have to pay for a child he was fooled into believing was his until that child reaches maturity.
So far with Pearl, correct. Yeah, men can be forced by the will of the courts to pay for a child that isn't his.
In some states, that man will also have to pay for that kid's college. That is slavery and is forbidden under the 13th Amendment. 1/3 of paternity tests are negative by the American Association of Blood Banks. Feminism has empowered women to rob men of their time, their resources, their reputation, their children, and in the most extreme cases, their lives.
Oh my God. I'm just repeating what a woman says. So is the woman a misogynist? Because that doesn't meet... Is Pearl a misogynist? You fucking dipshit.
They do this through child support, alimony, false allegations, and paternity fraud. How many people in this arena have a brother, a father, an uncle, or a friend who has gone through
So Pearl is a misogynist. Do you idiots even know what the definition of a misogynist is?
this meat grinder? Anna has been on the air for 15 years and is completely oblivious to these issues. It's a silent genocide of the lives of millions of men.
You know, the funny thing is if you actually read the definition of misogynist, they don't exist.
Standing on the sidelines of
None of you idiots would actually be able to tell me what the definition of a misogynist is.
the arena, I have 33-year combat veteran Terrence Popp. He served through 3 wars and was almost killed in 2. He got married, had 2 children, and served in the United States Army. Terrence Popp was deployed to Iraq in 2004, and as a member of the airborne infantry, he was wounded by a roadside bomb and suffered a TBI and a stroke from the blast. He was evacuated out of the country, and it took over 2 years until he had recovered. While he was recovering, his wife was plotting to divorce him. His wife murdered his 6-year-old chocolate lab out of spite because he filed for divorce first. When he confronted her, the response he got was, "I told you I did not want you living here." At this point, he was forced to leave the marital home and live out of his car. The divorce took away his home, his children, and left him penniless and saddled with a child support payment he could not afford. Terrence had to pay $144,000 over a 12-year period for a divorce that his wife was empowered by feminists to plan and execute. Terrence went into court to fight for 50-50 custody. Terrence was called a murderer and an assassin in open court and was given 96 hours a month with his children. 96 hours a month is not a father. While homeless, he spoke to many other men who would never get off the streets due to child support arrearages and penalties, and the men constantly getting arrested for unpaid child support. The disparage of losing his children and his home, and his PTSD and constant pain from his wounds, he became suicidal. While at his post in 2008, a former commander of his came to see him to secretly say his last goodbyes. The next day, Mr. Pop's former commander put on his dress blues and went to the Holy National Veterans Cemetery and blew his brains out. Terrence Pop was notified of the death and was shocked because he was planning to commit suicide in the exact same manner. So in effect, his former commander took the bullet that was meant for him. Terrence Pop decided he would not kill himself and has spent the last 20 years saving 576 men from suicide with comedy. If you look to the left of the stage, Terrence is holding the dog tags for every life that he has saved. Now, why am I telling you this? Shout out to Terrence, yeah. Now, why am I telling you this? Because men and American veterans are put in this position because of the empowerment that feminists like Anna have pushed for. There are millions of men that have died in this country from the political power that feminism pushes. Since 1970, an estimated 1.6 million men have committed suicide.
Time. Stop there.
If feminists cared about equality, why aren't they fighting for equality in divorce and family court as hard as they are fighting for abortion, working, or becoming sex workers? Thank you.
All right, I have no idea who won the goddamn... All right, I have no idea who won the opening statement debate.
Okay, this is gonna be, it's gonna be a heavy one. We're gonna go now to the opening interrogations. We have 10 minutes. Do we have that on the clock? Yeah, it's fading in right there. Okay, and take it away. 10 minutes.
Who's interrogating who?
Whoever wants to begin.
Aside from the specific anecdote that you shared, which of course is tragic,
And it
can you
happens all the
cite some
time.
actual studies that look at the statistics and back up what you say in regard to the outcomes of marriage and divorce in America?
41% of 109 rape cases reported to police in a Midwestern city were admitted to be false by complainants.
In one Midwestern city.
Oh, boy. And now we go with Anna. Oh, it's just one Midwestern city. If 41% were false, that should send alarm bells. I don't care what city it was.
City? And which Midwestern city was that?
You know, you can go from your ivory tower and tell
I'm not in an
people what
ivory
to
tower.
think
I'm
and
on
how
this
to
debate
feel.
stage interrogating your assertions, and you've only provided an anecdote.
Right.
Because
It's
if you
not-
look at the data, which I did, of course, you'll find that women are twice as likely to fall into poverty after divorce.
Right, because they
Yeah, because they don't know how to manage their fucking finances.
Alimony
stop
is paid
spending.
out in 10% of divorces. According to the Census
It should be paid out in zero.
Bureau, the average child support payment is $441 a
And
month.
that's too much. The most it takes to raise a child is $34,000 a month. So that's $300 a month. That is the most.
And only 60%
Right, but how
of
much are
those
they
payments
making?
get paid out.
How much
Women do not get child custody 90% of the time, as you have asserted before.
Okay, Pearl, you need to be a lot more assertive than what you're being now. You need to basically scream at that cunt.
In fact, 95% of custody cases are mutually agreed upon
No,
outside
they're
of the
not.
courtroom.
No, they're fucking
Women
not.
get full
Where the fuck do you get that, Anna?
custody 40% of the time. Men do get full custody 20% of the time. And 40% of the time, it's shared custody.
Where do you get that stat, Anna? Where the fuck do you get that stat? Bull fucking shit. Bullshit. But of course, you want women to get custody most of the time because it's the only chance that women have of making a man a leftist. Is if the mother has him 100% of the time. Because Lord knows you couldn't do it with a dad around the house. And I'm talking a real dad, not the beta bitch cuckboy sucking faggot you married.
Which I think is the ideal situation, assuming that neither spouse is abusive.
And Pearl, excuse me, before you respond, if you could take your microphone out and hold it, it would be easier to hear you.
Okay. Alimony and medical care and dental are not covered by that, so a lot of times it does go above 50%. Again, you can go through the facts, the data, and the statistics and manipulate them any way that you want.
It's not
But
manipulation.
there are
Those are the
1.6
stats.
million. There are 1.6 million men in this country.
My side fails to cite sources properly. Your side doesn't source them at all.
Men are 9 times more likely to commit suicide after a divorce.
Compared to women, what's the number for women?
It's lower.
Really? What is it? Comparative analysis is real difficult for you, isn't it?
Okay.
Go ahead, Pearl.
What's your next question?
You have asserted that men
She just said it was let.
shouldn't get married, that instead they should shack
I didn't say
up.
that.
You did say that with
did
Trent
not say
Horn. Word for word, you said it makes more sense for them to shack up, live with a girlfriend instead of getting married. Do you think the advice that you give to men is the type of advice that will fulfill their lives? Because I'll tell you one thing, the best part of my life is my husband. I love my husband. He's my rock.
Up until you get tired of him and you divorce him.
He's my foundation. And no, my husband is number one. I love my career, but you know what my career did? When I met my husband, my career was already established. He, on the other hand, was couch surfing, he was in debt, and didn't know what he wanted to do with his life.
Oh, and you, oh my God. Oh God. Her marriage is fucking doomed if this is true. Her marriage is fucking doomed.
I married him anyway. You want to know why? Because I had the economic freedom to marry for love, not for some chat.